tonight to pay tribute to two men who have changed my life and the life of this country, Barack Obama and Edward M. Kennedy. Their stories are very different, but they share a commitment to the timeless American ideals of justice and fairness, service and sacrifice, faith and family. Leaders like them come along rarely, but once or twice in a lifetime, they come along just when we need them the most. This is one of those moments. As our nation faces a fundamental choice between moving forward or falling farther behind, Senator Obama offers the change we need. Everywhere I go in this country, people tell me that Barack Obama is making them feel hopeful the way they did when my father was president. It's partly the words he uses, words that remind us that we are all in this together and that we each have something to contribute to this country that has given us so much. But it's the life he's led that is the true source of this inspiration. A life spent fighting for ordinary people in neighborhoods and courts, in the state Senate and in the United States Senate. I've never had someone inspire me the way people tell me my father inspired them. But I do now, Barack Obama. And I know someone else who's been inspired all over again by Senator Obama. In our family, he's known as Uncle Teddy. More than any senator of his generation, or perhaps any generation, Teddy has made life better for people in this country and around the world. For 46 years, he's been so much more than just a senator for the people of Massachusetts. He's been a senator for all who believe in a dream that's never died. If you're no longer being denied a job because of your race, gender, or disability, or you've seen a rise in the minimum wage you're being paid, Teddy is your senator too. And if your children are receiving health care thanks to the Children's Health Insurance Program, if you see a nurse at a community health center, or if you're benefiting from the Medicare program that he fought to create, and just last month he returned to the Senate to save, Teddy is your senator too. If your child is getting an early boost in life through Head Start, or attending a better school, or can go to college because a Pell Grant has made it more affordable, Teddy is your senator too. And if you're an 18-year-old who's going to vote for the first time, and I bet it will be for Barack Obama, Teddy is your senator too. Not only has Teddy helped put the American dream within reach for so many families, he's been a powerful force around the world for human rights and human dignity, for refugees and the dispossessed. He helped end apartheid in South Africa and bring peace to Northern Ireland. He's been a leader on arms control, and he took a strong, early, and courageous stand against the war in Iraq. He's a man who always insists that America live up to her highest ideals, who always fights for what he knows is right, and who is always there for others. I've seen it in my own life. No matter how busy he is, he never fails to find time for those in pain, those in grief, or those who just need a hug. In our family, he's never missed a First Communion, a graduation, or a chance to walk one of his nieces down the aisle. He has a special relationship with each of us. And his 60 great nieces and nephews all know that the best cookies and the best laughs are always found at Uncle Teddy's. Whether he's teaching us about sailing, about the Senate, or about life, he has shown us how to chart our course, take the helm, and sail against the wind. And this summer, as he faced yet another challenge, he and Vicki have taught us all about dignity, courage, and the power of love. In this campaign, Barack Obama has no greater champion, and when he's president, he will have no stronger partner in the United States Senate. Now it is my honor to introduce a tribute to Senator Edward M. Kennedy.
The sea, for me, has always been a metaphor of life. I mean, the sea is a constantly evolving, changing, shifting aspect of both nature and of life. That sort of exposure to the sea is both enriching and enhancing, and it's fun.
The sea, the wind, the outdoors, it is the most renewing, healing place for him, and always has been.
Oh, that's a good job. Yeah. Sweat it a little bit.
He loves getting out and sailing. I think he's never more at peace, and perhaps in some ways never more in touch with his family and his roots and his brothers than when he's out there sailing.
I grew up in a family that wanted to achieve in the sense of making a difference in people's lives.
I know that Ted Kennedy has always been unbelievably sensitive to the accomplishments of his brothers. They were his inspiration.
He has a legacy. He's done his very best to pick up where his two brothers left off.
Like my three brothers before me, I pick up a fallen standard, sustained by their memory of our priceless years together. I shall try to carry forward that special commitment to justice, to excellence, to courage that distinguished their lives.
He championed the cause of those who have been left out, the poor, the elderly, our children, those without education.
Was brought up to believe that, you know, to those to whom much is given, much is required. But it's really bigger than that. He really feels a moral obligation to do everything possible to make this world a better place.
I've heard Senator Kennedy say on many occasions that health care is not a privilege. It is a right.
As long as I have a voice in the United States Senate, it's going to be for that Democratic platform plank that provides decent quality of health care, north and south, east and west, for all Americans as a matter of right and not of privilege.
Because of Ted Kennedy, people have things today, they're able to do things today, they're able to reach for the American dream in ways that they never imagined.
I first met the senator at something called Children's Congress through the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. And he asked me to come to testify in front of Congress about stem cell research and the support for that. If I could help someone almost as much as Senator Kennedy's helped me, then I'd be a very happy person.
City Year has given the opportunity for the best of our young people to serve in the community.
He deeply believes that national service ought to be part of the everyday life of every single American.
He committed right away to introduce new legislation to take programs like City Year to scale, to make it possible for young people all over our country to serve our country.
He deeply believes in service. Even as a United States Senator, he's read every Tuesday at a local school in Washington, D.C. as part of an Everybody Wins program.
We were signing up for this reading program, and I was assigned to read with Senator Kennedy as my reading partner. It gave me someone to want to do well for and make proud. I'm going to Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and I'll be majoring in education.
We're talking about a man of incredible sensitivity. He has always been there for the troops. He's always been there understanding the sacrifices that those troops made. He's been there for their families.
We met Senator Kennedy for the first time in November 2003 when we buried our son John at Arlington National Cemetery.
Their son was lost because his Humvee was not up-armored, and they've really dedicated their lives to making sure that other young men and women don't suffer the same fate.
John died just after his 20th birthday. Senator Kennedy agreed to call hearings. Within 6 months of those hearings, all troops in Iraq had body armor. And to that, I owe the senator.
Brian and his wife, Alma, turned that enormous personal tragedy into a remarkable force for change.
Senator Kennedy had been a Gold Star family before I was born. He remembers where his mother was, where his father was, when they came to tell him his brother Joseph was killed. We share a wound that doesn't heal, and a deep and abiding love for this country. And Senator Kennedy taught me that government can function for the common man.
His patriotism, his family, his faith, really, those three things are just intrinsic to who he is. You know, I think of him as this guy who's got really, really big shoulders, and he's strong for all of us, and he's funny, and he sort of leads the way. He's the Pied Piper in our family.
How many sails are up?
Well, let's count them. What do we call the one that's way, way, way up at the tipping point?
What's that? The halyard, isn't it? Oh, no, the fisherman?
Fisherman!
Don't tell me you want to put the fisherman on the other side now, Dad.
In spite of all of the changes, in spite of all of the progress, Senator Kennedy would tell us that we still have a great distance to go.
In the year I was born, President Kennedy let out word that the torch had been passed to a new generation of Americans. He was right, it had. It was passed to his youngest brother. From the battles of the 1960s to the battles of today, he has carried that torch, lighting the way for all who share his American ideals.
This moment is the moment for us to get health care done. And Ted Kennedy wants to be leading the charge where he ought to be, the head of that committee, making sure that he's working with President Obama to get health care for all Americans.
We'll break the old gridlock and finally make health care what it should be in America, a fundamental right for all, not just an expensive privilege for the few.
I see the day when President Barack Obama and Ted Kennedy will be moving progressive legislation through the Congress to help some of the most vulnerable people in our society.
The people in this country are going to respond in a hopeful and a positive way. It's going to be a very, very dramatic and important alteration and change, and it's one that I'm looking forward to being part of.
My friends, I ask you to join in this historic journey, to have the courage to choose change. It's time again for a new generation of leadership. It is time now for Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Edward M. Kennedy!
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, it is so wonderful to be here. And nothing is going to keep me away from this special gathering tonight. I have come here tonight to stand with you, to change America, to restore its future, to rise to our best ideals, and to elect Barack Obama President of the United States. As I look ahead, I am strengthened by family and friendship. So many of you have been with me in the happiest days and the hardest days. Together we have known success and seen setbacks, victory and defeat. But we have never lost our belief that we are all called to a better country and a newer world. And I pledge to you that I will be there next January on the floor of the United States Senate when we begin the great Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good. For me, this is a season of hope. New hope for a justice and fair prosperity for the many and not just for the few. New hope. And this is the cause of my life. New hope that we will break the old gridlock and guarantee that every American, north, south, east, west, young, old, will have decent, quality health care as a fundamental right and not a privilege. We can meet these challenges with Barack Obama. Yes, we can, and finally, yes, we will. Barack Obama will close the book on the old politics of race, gender, and group against group, and straight against gay. And Barack Obama will be a commander-in-chief who understands that young Americans in uniform must never be committed to a mistake, but always to a mission worthy of their bravery. We are told that Barack Obama believes too much in an America of high principle and bold endeavor, But when John Kennedy thought of going to the moon, he didn't say, it's too far to get there. We shouldn't even try. Our people answered his call and rose to the challenge. And today, an American flag still marks the surface of the moon. Yes, we are all Americans. This is what we do. We reach the moon. We scale the heights. I know it. I've seen it. I've lived it. And we can do it again. There is a new wave of change all around us. And if we set our compass true, we will reach our destination. Not merely victory for our party, but renewal for our nation. And this November, the torch will be passed again to a new generation of Americans. So with Barack Obama, and for you, and for me, our country will be committed to his cause. The work begins anew. The hope rises again, and the dream lives on.